That's over 5. Yeah, that's over 500 million. From 0 to 14. You see, that's over. You see, and so from 15 to 19, you got another 150, 160 million. 20 to 24, 143 million. 25 to 29, 127 million. You see, 30 to 34, you got 111 million. 35 to 39, you got almost 100 million. You know what I'm saying? Them is soldiers right there. You see what I'm saying? Them is soldiers, from that 20 up to you can go all the way up to 39. So in between that, you got 600, 700 million. You know what I'm saying? Ready to go to war. You know what I'm saying? And so 45 to 49, you got 72 million. I mean, you keep going up. It's just in the millions. And so you got to understand it's a very vibrant race that we got. And so we see right there, we can't live in no fantasy world. We got infrastructure that even here, you know what I'm saying? But as you can see with Africa growing and becoming again the center of the planet, and that, a lot of our people going to shift back home. You know what I'm saying? They're going to shift back home because Africa is not just going to expand in population. It's going to expand in influence. The cycle is turning and Africa is returning back to preeminence on the planet. And so you can see where you look everywhere else, you see the world's median ages. You see? And so you can see, in the green down there, you see the teens. And so you can see all across Africa. I mean, damn. Some of these, and when you're talking about 2 billion people, and some of them statistics that I showed you might need to be updated. Because when you look across Africa, you're seeing average age 19, 16, 15, 17, 18, 22, 25, 27, and on and on and on. So you see Africa is very young. And then when you look everywhere else, they, 41. Average age United States, 37. It's going up. You see, it's going up. You look in the red, Europe is in, is coming into, these motherfuckers is senior citizens. Europe is a fucking continent of senior citizens. So it's saying by 2060. And so why you think they want to get black peoples off the planet? You see? Why you think they want to get black peoples up off the planet? By 2060, you can see, man, majority of these guys, this is the median age, the average age. You see? You got motherfucking Portugal and Spain in their 50s. Germany in their 50s. Italy in their 50s. Greece in their 50s. Average age. You see, you got the rest of them goddamn 40s, and not just low 40s, upper 40s. 48, 49, 47. You see? They ain't ready to go to war with nobody, so they know that the process of depopulation must happen now, and they doing it in all type of sadistic, crazy-ass ways. You see? Again, I believe this one is, yeah. You can see, the years, the average age, 80s, from 1980s up into the 2000s. You see? And so you seeing the average age all the way, staying basically in the 20s. You see up at the top is in the 40s, but that's where them goddamn Arabs is. You see what I'm saying? But everywhere else you see green teens, and yellow 20s, you know what I'm saying? You see a few, they're going into the 30s, but them is low 30s. You see South Africa is also in the hot because that's them goddamn Europeans down there. You see what I'm saying? But wherever else is just 100% African, you see that they get that young, vibrant age. You got to know that. You got to project your babies into the future or where it's going to be popping. Now, understanding that Africa has got to have leadership with vision that understand, that you got a young population and you're going to have them in the billions. And so you got to have them with knowledge. You got to have them with education and technology and science. You got to have them building infrastructure and institutions to accommodate and provide for that level of people in Africa. And so we dealt with that, and we seeing that, again, that's very young, and then you come over here with these Cro-Magnon Neanderthals and shit, you know what I'm saying? And they up in the high numbers, you know what I'm saying? Low, and not only is they old having, they ain't having, if you that old, you damn sure ain't having no damn babies. You see what I'm saying? You damn sure ain't having no damn babies. And so that right there is clear. And so old and unfertile, you understand, unproductive, you see. But then you come here, and I had to put this out here, so you can see the homeland of African people. This is why I had to put out there Egypt versus everybody, because Egypt is the pinnacle of African culture. A lot of people got a lot of videos out there, and I love Africa, and I love the whole of Africa, and I love all African cultures, that's productive and, coming from a divine source. You see what I'm saying? But you got people that believe that they aboriginal to North America and all this, that, and you got some niggas say they Asiatics. You understand what I'm saying? You got some niggas that's Moorish, they're Moorish, sorta, kinda, but not quite. You see what I'm saying? And so you got all these Attic niggas and all these Ish niggas and all this, that, and the third. They really don't know where they from. And they have an influence on continuing to, parade all these comic book origins and shit to the children. And we have to crush down on that. You know what I'm saying? We have to be vigilant in crushing down on that. Because falsehood breeds the type of niggas that you see out there today. And so if you the first thing you want to change around, the status of your people, you change the information. Everybody out here is producing based on the information that's in the core of their brain. And so if they got bullshit, they're gonna produce bullshit. You see, and so we look and see that it is in the core of Africa, where you see the majority of black people on the planet, and so when you look at that, there's no problem in understanding, because even though we come in all different shades, we understand that the dark is the primordial. You see what I'm saying? That we are out of the darkness, no matter, what shade of African you are out of the darkness. You out of that central core, because again, we understand that the darkest can produce the brown, the red, the yellow, even the albino, but it can't be vice versa. It won't be vice versa. You see what I'm saying? You can have that gene in you now, but it won't be vice versa. It can't come back the other way. You see what I'm saying? And so we understand what, that the melanated, the cosmic melanin is what came first. That's just facts. And we deal with that and understand that. And so that's why when you go into ancient Egypt, the deities, the divine of the divine, most divine color was the color of black, which we're gonna show, which we will show. Let me get my okay. And so you see here the types of resources, that is in Africa. These types of resources is why African kings and queens were the richest known to man. And so you talking about the number one. This is not all that's there. You see all the crude oil and petroleum products. We don't need Arabia. We don't need Russia or the United States. We have our own oil. We have our own natural gas. We got gold. We got diamonds. We got coffee, grains, tea, livestock. You see, and you see even down there aluminum, platinum. You see number one, you can see even in Soweto, you see clothing and shoes, and in Madagascar, you see coffee, but these are just one, the main. You see even uranium, and see, a lot of the things that go into producing a lot of this nuclear shit and this supersonic military shit come out of Africa. Cobalt, you know what I'm saying? Cobalt and, you know, uranium and, you know, and plutonium and all that coming up out of Africa. And so, you know, you got, if you want, you got to cut it off. You even see timber and so fish and so on and so forth, iron ore, phosphates, clothing and textiles, a lot of things that's coming out of Africa nobody's talking about. You see, and so we have more, you know, we have more resources than anybody on the planet. Africa is the only continent that doesn't have to ask anybody for shit because we already got it. We already got it. We don't need nobody for nothing. Home court advantage is a vital strength we must exploit. We must exploit home court advantage. And this will empower African people all over the planet. It must start at home. Must start at home. And so until you get there, you know, your home, your personal home is an extension of Africa. That don't mean you run up out of it. You know, you treat your own community as an extension of the continent. You are, you know, you checking on Africa. You making sure that your community is ran with the, you know, the culture and the morality of our people. You understand? In all their divinity. I'm not talking about no garbage. You know what I'm saying? Because Africa needs to be purged of a lot of garbage that's over there right now because of the thousands of years of exploitation, you know, by the oppressors. And so we have the resources, we have the numbers. When you got the numbers, you got the youth, you got the resources, what the hell is going on? You see? And so that's why these niggas put this garbage out here to keep you away from Africa, to keep you, and that's in the benefit of the oppressor. They love these niggas to teach this shit that they teach it. So you can keep your eyes off of the prize. So you can keep your eyes off of what really counts. You understand what I'm saying? Where you can strike the heaviest blow. You know, keep their eyes away, keep their ass on the plantation. You know what I'm saying? Don't give them no, you know, don't give them no outside access. Keep the slaves on the plantation until we can get rid of them. But we don't want them to leave here. We don't want them to take that knowledge that they, you know, that they possess and take it to the continent and other areas of where Africa and teach the people. You understand? A lot of what we know from the, you know, the master teachers and the technical knowledge that we didn't gain over here. They don't want you to leave. They don't want you to leave. And so that's why they are right with these niggas teaching this garbage. Africa is the center of the world and is the only continent in all four hemispheres. That's very key. You understand? Even when it comes to astronomy and longitude and latitude. You see what I'm saying? Africa is in all the hemispheres, northern hemisphere, western hemisphere, eastern hemisphere, and the southern hemisphere. The only continent in all four hemispheres. And so, you know, even when it comes to astronomy, you know, if you in only in the western hemisphere, then you can only see, a certain aspect of the heavens. If you're in the eastern hemisphere, you can only see certain aspects of the heavens. If you're in the southern hemisphere, which is the most sacred hemisphere for African people, because they were oriented to the south of Africa, because that's where our people came from the very beginning. So they was oriented. And that's why when we get into the cosmology and the astronomy, you're going to see that the most sacred constellations in relationship to Africa was in the southern hemisphere, including the Milky Way, Orion, and if you look it up, most astronomers will tell you that the most important constellations and the most visible constellations in all the heavens is in the southern hemisphere. You see, those are facts. You see, and so when you come down, we're gonna deal with the Kush Empire and the Egyptian Empire, and we're gonna show and prove that Ethiopia established Egypt. Ethiopia established Egypt. Narmer, Scorpion was before Narmer. All wore the crown that would later become the crown of Upper Egypt. But there is no Egypt.